Rishi Sunak leads UK in minutes silence for Ukraine as Charles praises nation's courage on anniversary of invasion. Millions of Brits fell silent today to mark 12 months since Russia's barbaric invasion of Ukraine. Rishi Sunak led the poignant moment of reflection from Downing Street, where he and wife Akshata stood side by side with dozens of Ukrainian soldiers and the country's ambassador to the UK. Following the silence, the Ukrainian national anthem was played. Earlier today the PM said, "We have stood shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine from the outset. We'll continue providing the vital resources Ukraine needs for as long as it takes. Stand together. Stand united." Across the UK, politicians, royals and members of the public paid also respect to those who lost their lives in the name of freedom and democracy. In a heartfelt message of hope, King Charles said, "It has now been a year that the people of Ukraine have suffered unimaginably from an unprovoked full-scale attack on their nation. They have shown truly remarkable courage and resilience in the face of such human tragedy. I can only hope the outpouring of solidarity from across the globe may bring not only practical aid, but also strength from the knowledge that, together, we stand united." Ex-PM Boris Johnson, who is an ardent campaigner for Ukraine, said, 2023 must be the year of Ukrainian victory. Now is the time to give President Volodymyr Zelensky the tools the Ukrainians need to finish the job. A swift Ukrainian victory is the humane, compassionate and economically sensible outcome. Ministers and MPs from all parties have pledged to provide whatever support is necessary for Hero President Zelensky to win the war. So far, Britain has frozen £239 billion of Russian reserves and assets, while 1,200 Putin cronies have been sanctioned. Around £1.5 billion has been spent on economic and humanitarian aid, and more than 3 million pieces of military equipment has been sent to support the Ukrainian army. Meanwhile, in the UK 217,000 visas have been issued as part of the Ukraine visa scheme. And 11,000 Ukrainian personnel have been trained on British soil. This morning Defense Secretary Ben Wallace vowed Britain would lend Typhoon jets to any European allies that give Ukraine Soviet warplanes. The war-torn state has begged NATO members for high-end jets. But the West is concerned it will take too long to train aircrew to use them. Mr. Wallace ruled out immediately sending Typhoons. But he insisted Russian Soviet fighter jets would be a helpful alternative. The defense secretary said, "The other quick way that Ukraine can benefit from fighter jets is for those countries in Europe that have Russian Soviet fighter jets, MiG-29 seconds or Su-24 seconds. If they wish to donate, we can use our fighter jets to backfill and provide security for them as a result. They are already configured to fight in a NATO way, where of course Ukraine isn't." Meanwhile, Foreign Secretary James Cleverly this morning said tyrant Putin will probably threaten nuclear use as his army fails to make progress. Mr. Cleverly told Times Radio, "We have committed to ensure that Putin fails in his attempt to invade Ukraine, and as that realization of his failure dawns on him, he will use every trick in the book. He will use cyber, he will use disinformation, he will try and call in any and every favor in the international community that he can. He will threaten escalation and he will probably threaten nuclear use.